All right, and welcome to this special episode of Real Estate Fight Club. This is a series called What Would You Do?, where we discuss professional standards, committee cases, and code of ethics violations. Here with me today is JimCamarata from KW in Minnesota. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jennifer, how you doing today?
Great. How are you?
All right, all right.
What is the case that we have today?
Well, I thought I'd change it up again a little bit. I don't want to be,
Okay.
the same old, same old. So this is dealing with Article 17,
Okay.
and that addresses the whole issue of arbitration. So it's kind of a different take
Yeah, that's
on
interesting.
what you and I have talked about in the past. So here's the scenario. You've got one realtor with one brokerage and another one with another brokerage, and they
Okay.
can't agree on the disposition of the commission.
Okay.
So they have said, no, we don't want to mediate. We want to go to arbitration.
How would that even happen? I guess, like, if they can't agree on how the commission gets split, because it's outlined in the MLS.
It is, but it also varies by the real estate board. So your association may handle it a little bit differently than mine in Minneapolis. So you have to look at the nuances.
Okay.
This case is coming from the National Association of Realtors.
Okay.
All right. So
Mhm.
we've got two different brokerages. And of course, it has to be with the broker, not with the agent.
Right.
So it's a
Right.
commission issue between brokers.
Mhm.
So the one broker had been a lawyer once upon a time
Oh, God.
in his prior life before becoming a
Do
real
you
estate
think this
broker.
should be another thing? Should lawyers be allowed to also be realtors? No.
Actually,
No is my answer.
well, I had a regional manager years ago, early in my career, who was also a lawyer. And I learned so much from
But
Bill
we're
Burr.
not lawyers.
No, we're not, but he
I think
helped me
sometimes when you
navigate.
know too much, and we're getting way sidetracked.
I
I'm
know we are.
sorry.
We're gonna
Let's come
sidebar.
back. I'm ready.
Sidebar. Come back. All
I'll mute
right.
myself. Okay.
Oh, the non-pre-lawyer
Mhm.
broker was saying, "Oh shoot, I'm going to be at a disadvantage.
Right.
I should hire my own attorney to help guide me through this arbitration process."
Agreed.
So he amended the arbitration application to the board and said, "I will have an attorney present,
Mhm.
and I'm also going to petition to be reimbursed for my expenses for hiring this attorney." So,
Okay.
want to stop here and do your commercial?
Yeah, we can. I feel like this is gonna have a lot more questions than answers.
I suspected that.
Yeah, yeah.
I just know you.
It's okay. So, we have a new partner that I want to tell you guys about. So a lot of people are calling me because they want to dip their toe into cold calling. So yes. So we've now partnered with the Red X, and you would go to theredx.com/fight club. They've waived a setup fee if you want to try it. But the thing that I like about Red X is that instead of getting all of the data, you get to pick and choose. So if you want to try expireds only, you could just buy that portion of the data. If you want to try for sale by owners only, you could just buy that portion of the data. So I would encourage you to head over there, call me if you have questions, but it's theredx.com/fight club. The other one is, we all know that we should be posting on social media, and I see your accounts and you're not posting. So I assume that you don't know what to post. Monica has a service called Ghost Poster where you can get Monday through Friday. She will send you, all you have to do is copy and paste it, post it on your social media, and engage with the people that engage with you. So go to ghostposter.com. That's spelled GHOSTPOSTR.com and start posting away. All right, Jim. I'm ready.
All righty. Well, we have the two different brokers arguing over who gets the commission.
Okay.
They went before the hearing, and a decision was made. Doesn't make a difference what the decision was.
Okay.
One of them won, one of them lost.
Okay.
But the one who did submit the application to get reimbursed, to have his own attorney present,
Lost.
the commission said, "No, we're not going to reimburse you."
I don't
And
know why they would reimburse Because it's your right to have an attorney. It seems to me.
Oh, it is. It is. And it clearly states that in the article.
What does it say?
In their opinion, the hearing panel said that the arbitration process is provided to all realtors by the board to avoid any unnecessary expenses. So the hiring of an attorney was that realtor's own decision, not required by Article 17 of the Code of Ethics, the hearing panel, or the Code of Ethics and Arbitration Manual. The hearing panel decided the commission dispute based strictly on the facts as they were presented, and they disallowed the request that he be awarded attorney's fees and other administrative expenses.
Because arbitration
Found that interesting.
is,
Found that interesting.
it is interesting because if you end up going to court, don't whoever loses have to pay some of the attorney's fees?
It all depends on what gets negotiated.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. But okay, so arbitration, we are like required to go to arbitration first, correct? As part of our
If everybody
code?
agrees. Yeah, we have a separate addendum in our purchase agreement package. So you either agree to arbitration or you don't agree.
But that's between the buyer and the seller. Your case was between agents.
Yes. Yes, it's between brokers.
So,
Between brokers.
but that wouldn't be part of the purchase contract.
Mhm. Yeah, because if in
Oh,
our,
because it's a result of the purchase contract.
yeah, and in our form, our addendum, both agents need to sign it. And if one
Oh.
party out of everybody does not sign that arbitration addendum, there is no agreement to
Oh,
arbitrate.
so then they would go straight to court. Interesting.
I know, and that's why I say you have
That seems
to check
weird
with your
because,
local real estate association to see how the rules apply.
but it feels weird because it feels like it's an article, which means the code of ethics, and the code of ethics is national. And this is something between the brokerages. It has nothing to do with the buyers and sellers. So why wouldn't it automatically go to arbitration?
Well, they had agreed to it. Oh, well, Article 17 also does say that we agree, we realtors, as part of our membership, realtors shall submit the dispute to arbitration in accordance with the policies of the board rather than litigate the matter.
Yes,
So
so it
that
does.
is
Okay,
in
so
our
that makes sense what
article.
you're saying in the contract. If it's a buyer and seller issue or a consumer brokerage issue, there's a choice, right? In some places and some they pre-sign. But
Yeah.
between agents, there's really no choice. You're arbitrating.
And it's interesting because if you ask two attorneys, should my client sign that arbitration addendum, you're going to get two different answers. The majority of the attorneys here in Minnesota say, yeah, don't, because that gives up your right and you're limited to a settlement of it's $15,000.
And the
So if you've
damage
got
could
a
be more.
big property,
Because you
yeah,
can always arbitrate if you opted out originally. You can always opt back in, but you can't opt out if you've opted in.
it's an interesting scenario. So
It is.
put that pipe in.
So
Okay.
what I'm learning here is that as a real estate agent, if you have an issue with another agent, you guys go to, there's a code of ethics violation. As part of that process, I know they send you like a whole packet, but you have a right to have an attorney and witnesses at certain stages. And if you opt in for that right, the financial burden is upon you. It's not, you can't, there's no like additional second cause for damages or
Right.
whatever.
Right. Exactly.
You know what? Let's take it to court, Jim. We should all have it should be like all on Judge Judy or whatever. That's where we should all go.
Oh, you talk about entertainment.
That'd be
It
so
reminds me
fun.
so much of my older sister. It's not even funny.
I think that would be so much better because then, yeah, just take it to court, blow it up. Judge Judy it is. Because then it would be like more fun. I wonder if we would have more or less people submitting violations if it was public, like a public hearing like that.
I don't know.
That'd be awesome.
Does your
Well,
association have a access to a legal hotline where
yeah,
you're, okay, yeah, so do we.
I think
And
most of them do.
we've got some pretty good legal eagles on our team.
Yeah.
And I do, because the agents in my office now have discovered a new little game called Let's Stump the Broker.
I like
Let's see if
that
we can
game.
stump Jim.
I love that game. That's the best. Have
So
you been stumped?
yeah, a couple times. Yeah,
Oh,
because
good.
it is a legal issue.
Right.
So then
And
I
we're not
call,
attorneys.
right.
Yeah.
Right. So I
It's
will call.
interesting because a broker is like kind of in between, right? Like you know the rules, but you're not an attorney.
Right.
But if you were an attorney and a broker, could you answer the question or do you have to default to the legal hotline?
Probably default.
I
Because
would
if
think you
you
would
are
have to
a
default.
broker,
You're
you're wearing
operating
a
as
broker
the
hat.
broker.
Yeah.
Except that we have talked about cases where there was people that are real estate agents, but they're also like a pastor, right? Or whatever. But when they're operating as a pastor, they still operate as a realtor.
We will always, as long as we are licensed agents and realtors and brokers, whatever, we will always be held to a higher level of standard. Always.
As evidenced
never
by our
comes off.
barrier to entry, Jim. Oh my God. If you could, I feel like the listener,
There's
like
your
as a
platform.
listener,
There's your
yeah.
platform.
Right. If you're in the Cincinnati area, please vote for me for your board of directors. Can you imagine? When they said that I won one of the nominations for board of directors, I was like, "Are you sure? Like this place is getting lit on fire." And they were like, "We know."
There you
I
are,
was like,
Jennifer.
"Okay."
Yeah. Well, I decided years ago that in my little world,
Mhm.
I will do what I can to raise the bar and to
Yes.
raise the level of professionalism and to
Mhm.
change the perceptions of the public of me as a realtor.
I love it.
And I've been able to influence a number of people.
Yeah.
And when I'm managing an office, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Don't wear flip-flops when you're showing property. Be
Oh,
professional.
I feel
Wear-
personally attacked. I'm
wear
just
shoes.
kidding. I don't show
Wear
property.
shoes. Wear big boy pants.
Wear shoes.
Seriously, I had to open up one of my listings one time,
Yeah.
and the agent, I didn't know which person of the three was the realtor
Yeah.
because they were all dressed in flip-flops, shorts, and t-shirts.
Well, you're mirroring and matching, Jim. It's a sales technique.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
look at this. KW.
Yeah, get your branded
I've got
logo
appointments
shirt.
today. I got appointments today.
I like it. Yeah, we should all wear branded shirts. I think we did a podcast on that. Well, we did it on name tags, but I think we settled on like branded shirts is really like a good way to go.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, how can we improve on the professional image that we have?
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
selling, you know what?
Yeah.
We're selling. We're professionals.
Agreed. Well, Jim, I appreciate you being on. If people have a question for you or they have a referral in Minnesota, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
Oh, text or call 612-562-7461 or JimCamarata at kw.com.
Awesome. Thanks, Jim.
Thank
Bye.
you, Jen. Bye.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a podcast.